All right. We live? We good now? Everything seems to be working. Let's go in here and see if everything is working. Yeah. All right. It sounds like it's working. Sounds like it's not buffering. Looks like it's not buffering. So we should be okay. Had to open up the other stuff. Yes, it did. Thank you, Jazzy Jeff, for your donation to the channel. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. $2.99. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will try to get to them. All right, cool. So let's get to this. I want to make sure that we're not dropping frames. It's dropped about 5% of the frames. I don't know why. Must be the internet. All right, so here, let me do this real quick. Let me open up Streamlabs. I don't know why Streamlabs is having an issue right now. I will not accept the issues going on here. I am quite not happy with that. So here, hold on one second. Let's see. Boom. There we go. That works out. I hope that works out for you. Bada bing, bada boom, bada pow. Lunatic Fringe, David Wright, Rose Stacks, and Jazzy Jeff, Johnny Paul. Good to see all of you guys in the chat. Sorry for restarting the stream, but for some reason, one of my OBS things was not working out. I just wanted to see Julio. Here's the deal. Here's what's going on. So, like I was trying to say in the other stream, but I guess I'll just kind of restart from here. The Atlanta Falcons have just signed a right guard in free agency. Free agency has started. Woo! Free agency, drop the ball. You know, new year. Wow, yeah. All right, cool. Let's get back to business. The Falcons have just signed the 21st ranked PFF guard from 2017 in Brandon Fusco. Sean Long, Carl Prince. Good to see you guys. Sean Long. It is my belief that after watching week 1 all the way to week 9 of San Francisco 49er games, that Fusco is solid. 21st. He started 16 of 16 games last season. So, this contract for Brandon Fusco, right guard, by the way, $12.75 million over 3 years. So we've locked in our guard for this year and for the coming seasons of 2019, 2020, and possibly 2021. Depending on whether or not they pick up an option with him or there's some kind of secret package or what's going on. What you're getting in Brandon after watching from week 1 to week 9, where he had the highest graded guard rating on PFF, and he actually made all NFL as part of a right guard rotation. What I saw was just average, consistent play. And people will go, he was inconsistent. His numbers were all over the place. He barely allowed any pressures. He kept the pocket clean for what it was worth. He was okay to average as a run blocker, and he was okay to average as a pass blocker. And that is what we've needed. This officially gives us the 17th ranked PFF guard in Andy Levitri and the 21st ranked PFF guard in Brandon Fusco. This gives us a solidified line. And we're talking about a San Francisco line, by the way, who had a really bad center, not a great right tackle. So him working in between those two guys and making them look decent, to me, speaks a lot. Consistency is what we were preaching in 2017, and we wanted to be more consistent in 2018. So anyone listening to me right now understands that what we just did may be like a who is she moment. Who is that? Just under the radar signing? But y'all knew we weren't going after the major guys. I hyped you up a little bit. I understand. I am sorry. I'm sorry I hyped you up, that I misled you. But we all knew that Thomas Dimitroff was going to find one of these guys on the second tier list, grab him. He's okay. He's cheap. He's consistent. And he's worth it. He's worth it, because how many of these guys can you find in the NFL that are worth NFL quality salaries? Not a lot. So when you do find some of these gems, like an Andy Levitri who can stick with your squad for a while, and a Brandon Fusco who can come in and has a really good grade rating on a pretty reliable, with my fingers doing the finger quote motion, a pretty reliable guard, and then you nestle that in between an Alex Mack, a Ryan Schrader, and a Jake Matthews, and you've got a pretty consistent line. What I saw from week 1 to week 9 when he dominated in the Cardinals game, what I watched from week 1 to week 9, especially since Shanahan was running things here at Atlanta and then went over to San Francisco and was kind of having him run the same thing, was that he's better than Wes Schweitzer in run blocking and in pass blocking. Oh my goodness, in pass blocking. But definitely now makes Ben Garland a backup, which is what we knew what was going to happen. I tweeted out a little while ago that Ben Garland could be the starting right guard if we aren't going to go after anybody. And we finally did go after someone today, and it makes sense now. Wes can sit behind. He's serviceable, but not great. And the same exact thing can go for Garland. Serviceable, but not great. Not transcendent. Not, he's not going to be a super starter. Super sub, maybe, but not a super starter. Now Atlanta can go out and draft a center to eventually take over for Mac. Yeah, in the future, we will have to think about that. I don't know how much more Mac has left in him, but I wouldn't be too surprised if the Falcons go, how much more do you have left, Mac? And Mac goes, I've got a little bit more. Sign you to another contract. I would not be too surprised. No, we, Maxi Cannon Sky Pro. I totally didn't. I totally destroyed that name. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Max, we did not sign Sitton or Pugh. We didn't sign either one of those guys. We signed Brandon Fusco, who again, like I just said, as soon as we signed him, I went straight to Game Pass and I did condensed game and I started watching him. And I was like, perfect. This is the guy that we need. He did very well against the Panthers. He did very well against the Cardinals. And I think he just played solid all the way up until that point. I liked everything about him. Up there in the 35-year-old. Bailey, yeah. I pretty good. Now, I know that a lot of people out there going out and going, oh my goodness, Sue, Ndamukong Suh and the Honey Badger, those guys are all available. We ain't touching those guys. What did I just tell you? Ndamukong Suh on my last stream. Ndamukong Suh's out for the money. And what did he say today? I will go to the highest bidder. So the Falcons are out. Dallas is probably out. Like pretty much everybody's out. Everybody's out. Only people with money. What do I think about Ebron? Fart. ASJ's better. To be honest with you. But he's in Seattle as of today. You hear the Cowboys fan whining, throwing fits over BS. Patient in free agency. Patient teams in free agency win because they're the ones that pride the draft over a free agent bargain. Ooh, a guy we can grab for 2 or 3 years. Versus a guy that you can have for 10. Who can be solid. Telling you guys. I'm telling you. So here we are. I know most of you guys are following the Falcoholic and all those guys, and they're keeping you up to the minute with what's going on. And a lot of guys are now retweeting me right now. They liked my post that if Dallas does take Suh or Seattle takes Suh, whoever's willing to get into the bidding war with him, one of these teams that has a lot of money is able to go and get Suh. And then another team takes Dontari Poe for a discount. You're talking about some teams that were very DT needy getting out of the DT market and giving us a chance to jump up and go grab a guy. So I'm very curious how that's going to be. That's how that's going to work. How that's going to work out. Man, I don't believe anybody that's saying anything on Twitter right now. I'm throwing things out. I'm throwing things out right now. I hear people saying one guy's going to sign here and another guy's going to sign there. I'm only listening to who is interested and who's not interested, and I hear so many conflicting reports from one side or the other. So it's good to see everybody in here. Dallas Cowboys in Georgia. George Yanez, Jazzy Jeff, Max is in the building. Evan Thompson, PSN is in. Rise Up. Good to see all my grounders in here. Bailey is in here. Sean Long is in here. Rose Stackson. Good to see all of you guys. So again, like I said, no, George, I'm going to repeat. I've watched week 1 to week 9, and I saw a very capable guard in Brandon Fusco out of San Francisco. Very capable. Average to above average, rated as the 21st PFF graded guard of 2017. Number 17, by the way, was Andy Levitri. The signing for Fusco is a positive signing, and at 3 years, $12.75 million, it's also a good sign for the money. And y'all knew that was going to be a big part of this, was the money. Because we only had $8 million going in, we probably only have about $4 million right now. No problem. Ruben, what's going on? Good to see you. No problem with this upgrade at right guard. It's an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade over Wes and over Ben, over anybody that we've been trying to just slug in there. And let's not downplay Wes. Wes was serviceable. He just wasn't the right guard that we were looking for. Ben had to step in because Wes wasn't good enough, and Ben's not a true right guard. So this is just a good signing. This is just a good signing overall. I'm going to do some tape. on Fusco. I think maybe a 5-minute video just showing some of the things that he's been able to do. I saw him in his very first game against the Panthers in week 1. He had one holding penalty right off the bat, and then right after that play, he pancaked a dude. He was pissed. That's the kind of fiery player that I want. And in Shanahan's system, which we were running in 2016, and we obviously were running a portion of that in 2017, what I saw out of Fusco makes me a positive. Gives me a positive outlook on this player running things in our system. Because all I saw when Carlos Hyde was running up the middle was Devontae Freeman running up the middle. And Fusco was always there, getting to the second level and getting to linebackers and knocking them down. That is a huge positive for us going forward with this Fusco signing. Now, everybody in here, I really quickly want to say, everybody that's in here who hasn't said hi, please do. I don't bite. Go into the chat, say hi to me real quick. I'll say hi back. But this is that underrated signing that could lead us to a division title. This could lead us there. Now, the Saints have definitely improved. They brought in a lot of defensive help. And the Bucs are making some underrated moves. I think that they definitely got a little bit better. And Carolina's been a little quiet. Just a little bit. They've been letting some stuff go. The boy Florida, what's going on? Terrell Powell, good to see you. Yo, what's going on, guys? David Wright. Red Dead Reviews. High Five. The signing that we just made with the impending Matt Ryan contract coming is a positive sign for Atlanta going into this draft because it means one thing, and y'all need to say it in the chat. Oops, I whispered that. Let me say that out loud. Trade. This is the time. This is not a fantasy. This is not a dream, although I truly do want it. But it just makes too much sense. It makes more sense than the Michael Bennett stuff. That the Falcons have only looked at one top defensive tackle prospect, and that is Vita Vea. And I would not be too surprised if we brought him in for a workout. He said he had an interesting, very curious interview at the Combine with Atlanta. Nice little lengthy one. And I would not be too surprised if they jumped up into the mid-teens and grabbed a guy like Vita Vea with Sue on the market and Poe on the market and a couple of other underrated guys going to some defensive tackle needy teams. Would not be too surprised, especially with this market right now, which is going to be a little slow on those defensive tackles, unless in the next couple of hours, Ndamukong Suh jumps onto a team that throws a whole stack of cash at him, a whole cash fort. You know, when you were a kid and you used to make like pillow forts, they make them really high. You'd have your wall, your exterior wall. Just think about that as stacks of cash for Ndamukong Suh as he looks to go grab another big deal. Justin Tuggle, what's going on, my man? He says, what do you think about the Richard Sherman contract? I think that it's a positive for San Francisco going forward. I think that that's a good contract. I think that's putting a leader where a leader needs to be in San Francisco. It's time to change some guard and change some of the stuff going on there. Cleveland probably. True. What round do you see the Falcons grabbing? Was that a wideout? Did you say a wideout? A wide receiver? Depends on how the Matt Ryan contract goes, because if it frees up a little bit of money, I could see us paying Jake and then Matt and then possibly getting Grady Jarrett onto the payroll and then grabbing one of these guys that's still pre-existing in free agency. But trade is happening. Trade is most likely happening because of the guys that we are talking to right now. We're talking to a lot of very late to undrafted free agent cornerbacks that are going to happen in this draft. We're talking to a lot of mid-round linebackers, and we've only talked to one defensive tackle that belongs in the top rounds, and that's Vita Vea. Some people were actually saying on my videos recently that Vita Vea is overrated, and that he will not dominate like he has dominated in college in the NFL. And to that, I say bull hockey, because yes, while he does short arm a lot of things, he tries to body up people, the positives outweigh the negatives when we're talking about Vita Vea, who can be taught by this particular coaching staff or coaching staffs of the same working tree or scouting tree to become something really, really, really favorable. So let's see. What do we have to improve on defense? I think stopping the run is priority. If you've had any chance at all to listen to any of my stuff, you know that it is time to grab more guys that can team up with Grady Jarrett or take the spot from Grady Jarrett when he is tired or when we switch up stuff. Let's go down and let's look at a couple of things that's going on. I'm hoping that some team tries to sign Irving and Dallas can take that extra second. Take that second, your first, and get Roquan, replace Hitchens. Ooh, that is a lot. That is a lot, Cowboys in Georgia. That is a lot. We didn't trade up in 16. True, we didn't. I don't know, Lieutenant Dan. We'll have to give up picks to get Vita Vea. We will have to give up picks, at least our first rounder. And I would not be surprised if we gave up our third. And then in the second round, we went double DT. And then in the fourth round, we probably trade down and get a couple of guys. McLean, I am not on that train. Not on that train. What do you think of Jake Matthews' contract looking like? Well, the market has been set. Nate Solder, what is that, $60 million? So expect something of the same contract negotiation. Like, just expect that, because Jake Matthews is going to ask for that inflated money. I mean, we could just stay with the We could just stay with this particular ire of contract, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Vita Vea with Dan Quinn. Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Let's see down here. Let's go down here. We have $45 million next year before they bump again. Yeah, and think about that. They're bumping $8 to $12 million every year. They're bumping the cap $8 to $12 million every year. Cap's going to get ridiculous. And we're going to be able to sign our guys, and that's what's so important. I think that Quinn and TD have talked about every guy that we bring into the Brotherhood that is under Dan Quinn's tutelage has stuck, right? Not a lot of guys have left. So those guys are going to get paid. Left tackles aren't growing on trees. Yeah, true. If Jake Matthews wants $15 million, I say screw him. Ooh, chill. NFL, college have an O-line problem. They do. And it's because a lot of teams play that spread offense and don't play enough in the box running to teach these guys how to be hog mollies. Back in the day, and I don't want to get all nostalgic and conservative, but back in the day, there was a time and place where there was a lot of offensive line talent. Now it's gotten a little thin. But the NFL wants to continue to run old style of football, and it's just hard for those guys to translate and get better, you know? So there is that, you know? Let's see. Somebody sent a photo. Tom Savage has just agreed to terms with the New Orleans Saints. So for those of you that don't know, Tom Savage has agreed to terms with the New Orleans Saints. Don't like that. How do they have any more money? Oh my goodness. How do they have any more money? I don't understand. How? That is ridiculous. Again, Brandon Fusco, if you did not already see it, 3 years, $12.75 million. And he will be the new right guard of the Atlanta Falcons from, if you have NFL Game Pass, go check out Tom Savage, QB Tom Savage. Why did they do that, though? Is Tom Savage really going to be their backup? Is that their answer for Drew Brees' contract and what they just signed? Is that they probably only going to have Brees for 2 more years? Is that why they're making this many signings in free agency, because they're going to try to go all out on defense and leave their offense the way it is? Is that what they're trying to do? Because that's not how you build dynasties. That's just not how that works. Broncos and Vikings are finalizing a trade to send Trevor Siemian to the Vikings. Broncos will send Siemian and a 2018 late round pick to the Vikings for a pick in 2019. All right. What is that? What are those? What? Former Jags QB Chad Henne is going to visit Tennessee. All right. That's cool. One pro scout on the Falcons' new addition just said that Brandon Fusco, big, smart, position versatility to play different spots, definitely a free agent worth the Falcons' time. Woo! All right. I like to hear that. Alonzo, what's going on? Good to see you. So, with the wide receiver market completely just ridiculously overpaid. In fact, every position this year just got super overpaid. Let's remember that. Everybody got overpaid. Push that cap up, and then people start just going freaking crazy. But the whole point is that the Falcons need to be smart about their contract extensions that they're about to make with Jake Matthews, Matt Ryan, especially Matt Ryan, and coming up with Grady Jarrett. Dan, Sanu in the slot. I mean, if we want to use that, yeah, we can. How do you feel about drafting Christian Kirk in our first round with our first round pick? I'd rather not, Because who do you have playing next to Grady Jarrett? Answer that question. Come back to me when you answer that. Do we even know the Turbo contract number? It was ridiculous. It was like 20 or 30 million. Something bonkers. And he's playing in Chicago now. So good on them. Good on them. Oh, man. And remember, next year we'll be talking about Neal and Beasley and Debo getting contracts. But we will have more money in the whole bit of it. 26 million, 20 to 30 million is just like what for Turbo? Like what? Rip to Dan Watkins' dreams. I knew from the moment that I woke up this morning that I was like, it's done. It's done. Watkins to KC just sounds too tempting. And plus KC had all this money that they had freed up. Why not invest in a top wide receiver? So it's smart on them. I mean, the Falcons have been handcuffed because of the Matt Ryan contract and because they just don't have a lot of money this year. Although I made a pretty interesting mock draft, mock drafts aren't reality. We all have to know that. So, boom, we are handcuffed right now until Matt Ryan figures out what he wants to do. And his agent and Thomas Dimitroff. Maybe they've already figured this out and they're just finalizing some bits. But until then, take your hands, put your wrists together and go, this is what the Falcons are feeling right now. They're locked in to Matt Ryan holding us hostage. We don't have the money. The only way we would have the money is if Matt Ryan takes less of a cap hit this year. And then we could go out and go make some moves. It seems that the Falcons are going to make a few little tiny moves here or there to slot up what we already have and then go into the draft to make the bigger moves, which is grabbing talent for Dan Quinn to nurture, grow, and mature, which I like better than a lot of other people in this chat or out there in Falcons Nation, DBN, or wherever you're coming from, that want the big flashy splash signing of a free agent that's going to potentially make something. But always remember back in the day when we went to go get a big splashy defensive tackle / defensive end. You guys remember that? It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So good luck with Turbo Chicago. Good luck to him, man. I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best. No hate here. No, he is not in this draft. They all went back. They all went back to school. Little moves to fill the gaps and put in veteran presence of guys that already know how the system works. No one has really left on the offensive side of the ball except for Gabe. Everybody else has been re-signed. We don't have Tyron Ward anymore, but I bet we probably will put Terrence McGee now in as a guy behind Tico and Freeman. And we'll just go pick up a free agent wide receiver for less money. Somebody that can maybe return some kicks. And let Hardy go out there and roll and ball. And otherwise go into the draft and get ourselves a tight end, 2 defensive tackles, and potentially maybe a linebacker as well. Those are all things that we could address in the draft. There's also the thought that maybe in the second round or in the third round, we trade down and grab some picks. I know that Falcons Thomas Dimitroff likes to do that kind of thing. So plenty of time. We just started free agency. This is the first day. We're only, 2 hours and 20 minutes into free agency. Everybody relax. Everybody chill. King Joe, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Cameron, good to see you. The Hooded Ginger, very, very long time no see. High five to you. Virtual high five. Woo! If you haven't already subbed to the channel, please do. I have the... do I have it on there? Yeah, I do. I have the little GIF and music that pops up when you do that. 49ers linebacker Brock Coyle signs a 3-year extension worth up to $11.5 million, includes a $4.1 million guarantee. And they have money to do it, so they're going to do it. They have money to do it, so they're going to do it. That's how that rolls, man. You all know. You all know. Come on. You all know. What did Cameron say? Let me go up here and see what Cameron said. What did Cameron say? Let's be honest here. Turbo was really only relevant due to the 2016 season. A, that no one had any tape on them. B, worked very well with Kyle Shanahan and what Shanahan was wanting to work. Remember, system players, when you go and grab a guy that works exactly for what you're doing, for your offense or your team in general, and brings positivity to your team, whether that be a particular piece in your offensive scheme. Because remember, not all wide receivers are created the same, nor are they used in every system the same way. Somebody's Z wide receiver works as an X in someone else's system, you know? So Turbo coming to Atlanta was very, very positive in the Shanahan era. And then when we got into the Sark era, where we were trying to figure out who we are as an identity, we were inconsistent at catching the ball, which was one of the biggest things holding us back. Wasn't really the play calling, was more or less guys dropping balls. Turbo wasn't used well and didn't fit with us. It's like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit in a particular area, but you're trying to force it in there, and it makes the picture look really terrible. Turbo was looking terrible because he didn't fit in our system. There's nothing that he was doing wrong and nothing that we were doing wrong either. It just didn't work. Those things didn't work. Hooded Ginger says BRB. All right, cool. Yeah. 20 plus million though? Yeah, you got to pass on that. So why the Lions game, Sark knew how to make him ball? Because again, sometimes you can get those types of guys to work in your system if you force it hard enough. Again, square blocks and round holes. You can force it in there, but you're going to break the hole. I'm just saying. Understandable, but he shouldn't be paid number 2 wide receiver money. It's not a system fit. Yeah. We will see that Gabriel puts up a good number in November and December when those Chicago winds are blowing sideways and the snow is flowing. Stay tuned. It's true. It's true. How's everybody doing today, by the way? I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. They're having a fun time with free agency. It's going to be a lot of fun. Remember that we have signed Brandon Fusco, right guard from the 49ers, and you'll go, ew, the 49ers. Remember that that's the same type of system or scheme that we have partially been running here in Atlanta, and he did very well as a right guard. Extremely well as a right guard. So I would, again, 21st ranked PFF guard for 2017. He is now with the Atlanta Falcons, and we now have the 17th and 21st best guards in the NFL in Andy Levitri and Brandon Fusco. So that is a huge plus for us, and it's awesome that we've signed him for 3 years, $12.75 million for that whole contract. That is extremely important. Caleb Ashland Ansley, good to see you. I actually love to move down in the draft into the second round, and I believe the Falcons are good enough at finding talent to find people deep in this draft. Yes. I'm all for, and it doesn't matter who the Falcons pick. To be honest with you, I mean, I would love particular players, and there are signs and smoke screens that are leading me towards different paths that where the Falcons could go. But when we're looking at the grand picture of it, if we just want to brush it all over, we can see that Dan Quinn, no matter who he picks up, usually develops and grows these players into mature NFL caliber guys. Like, easily in a year or two can he develop someone. I mean, Takk McKinley, collegiate player, and Takk McKinley, NFL player, are two different people. Debo in college versus Debo in the NFL are two different people. Keanu Neal in college and Keanu Neal in the NFL are two different players. Completely. So, James C. Overton, what's going on, my dude? I mean, yeah, there you go. Cameron with a very good statement there. KZ in the NFL and KZ in college are actually two different players, even though there wasn't a lot of playing time. You can see the development kind of tugging at these guys. Even guys, Junior 91, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. you can see the development even in Duke Riley, and that's been kind of a disappointment. But you can see the development working. He's becoming more of an NFL player. Will he, over this next couple of months and maybe over the next couple of years, develop into the player that we want? I don't know. But with the past resume of what Dan Quinn has done from 2015 up until this particular point, I can say with a little bit of certainty that the Falcons can train these guys to become extremely potent. Excuse me. So I'm all for this. I am all for this. And signing this guy declares to me that the Falcons are looking to just put some supplemental pieces in. Just fill the gaps. Just fill the cracks in what's gone on with Atlanta and who they've lost. And then go to the draft and grab some guys that can be developed in the next 4 rounds or more. Depends on how we trade and what's going on. So just hold your bras and panties on. Keep everything still on. Hold your butts, because this is going to be a fun ride. I told y'all, keep your expectations low so that you can enjoy everything that happens. So you can go, oh man, this is really interesting. Why'd we sign this guy? Instead of being, oh no, we got to sign somebody. Don't keep your jitters down, anxiety, chill pill, man. And then go into this and watch this stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. I've been listening to a lot of Logic lately. I know some people will probably not like Logic in the chat, and some people do like Logic. And, there's mixed opinions about whether his rapping is good or not, message and all that other nonsense. But straight up just being like, let's be real. And that's this entire show is just me being real, being honest. Nothing but the facts and truth, right? That's what this show is literally about. Nothing but the facts and truth. It is imperative that we remember that if you trust in the system and the people trust in each other, brotherhood, right? That it's all going to work out, right? Right? You just be yourself, and everybody trusts to the man to their left, the man to the right, and the person behind and in front of them. Or if you're on the defensive line or offensive line, it's all you. But we got you, man. We got you. But man, seriously, look at King Joe. What's going on, man? Brendan Caps. I'm sorry. Shooting that out real quick. It is imperative that we remember that man, look back to Mike Smith drafts. There's no substance. No substance in those drafts, in the Mike Smith drafts, right? No training, no development. And then as soon as Dan Quinn comes in here, it's like, wow, 2015's draft, 2016's draft, 2017's draft. Yeah, that's a little lackluster in 2017. But it's been hits. It's been guys that have come in here and developed under Dan Quinn. It's guys that want to be here. That's what's so special about Dan Quinn. When he goes into the draft, I don't care who he drafts, because honestly, he usually takes those guys and makes them real good. Mike Smith was Garbo except for Julio and Matt and Jake Matthews. For what it's worth, and Trufant and Alford were also part of his drafting scheme. So I guess he's had 5 players that he was able to actually hit on, and all the rest of them are like gone. Think about that. Oh my goodness, think about that, Falcons fans. I've said this on other streams, but think about this for a second. There's almost nobody left from Mike Smith's regime. And think about how almost the entire defense is nothing but drafted Dan Quinn guys. Whoa. What? Can you think about that for a second in the chat? Give me a thinking emoji. Almost the entire defense is nothing but Dan Quinn guys. It only took 3 years. It only took 3 years for him to find his guys and put them in there. That's amazing. Some of the biggest pieces on this defense are all Dan Quinn dudes. Devondre Campbell, Debo, Neal, Ricardo Allen getting signed back by Dan Quinn, bringing him in as a free safety. DeMonte Casey right behind him. Dude, Grady Jarrett in there. Vic Beasley and Tack McKinley. Duke Riley at a developmental stage right now. Bro, doesn't matter where he goes. SEC, ACC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12. Doesn't matter where he goes. He grabs guys. Sun Belt. I don't care where you're from. AAC. He goes and grabs guys that work for us, yeah? Isn't that amazing, though? So, with this free agent signing, with Fusco as a free agency, as our first free agent of 2018 that we have signed from another team, not from our own, from another team. Bro, seriously, this was solid. If you have NFL Game Pass, go watch week 1 all the way to week 9, and you'll go, this is good. This is very good. This is very good. This is solid. Better than West, better than Garland, which means that we upgraded, right? That's just an upgrade. It's like going to your phone store. You got to upgrade on your phone. It's only got maybe 2 or 3 new features at most, but they tell you it's cheaper than your previous phone, and you go, That's nice. That's positive. That's positivity right there. That's good. I can walk out of here knowing that everything is okay. I know it's a 3-year contract, but I don't know the numbers. $12.75 million for the full 3 years. So we're talking about maybe about $4 million per year, which that is decent. That's good. That's awesome. Better than Chester? Yes. Way better than Chester. After watching his 2017 tape in San Francisco and watching 9 games, that's all I need to know. He's run the Shanahan stuff where we have implemented some of that into our system. We ask our guards to pull a lot and get upfield and block linebackers, and he does this very well. But he doesn't stand out at any particular one thing. He's very just solid, average, above average actually. 21st rated PFF guard of 2017. He played all 16 games. He was solid. The reason why they didn't want to bring him back is because I think San Francisco wants to go after a guard in this coming draft, or they're grabbing somebody in free agency. Don't know who they've grabbed, really, to be honest with you, because I'm not paying attention to San Francisco because they ain't my team. I don't care. But doesn't mean that I don't hear about some of their stuff. It just means that I don't retain it. So those of you that are San Francisco fans, I'm sorry. I don't want to be the buzzkill of all time, but I'm really not paying attention to you guys right now. I'm kind of on what's going on here. So expect some Fusco tape in the coming days. Because I feel like a 5-minute video on an offensive lineman showing that he can get upfield, he's got good hip movement, he's got power, he can pancake people, average at run blocking, average at pass blocking, much better upgrade over Wes or over Garland or over Chester. That gives the Falcons a huge upgrade here. Now, ASJ is in Seattle. So those of you that watched my other video where I said, it would be great to get Sammy Watkins and ASJ, it looks like both of those options are actually going to go. And we're probably going to go after either a Hayden Hurst in the draft or maybe even go after one of these guys that survives the rest of the picking that's going on in free agency. We'll just grab a guy and slap him there with Austin Hooper, who is showing drive and ambition because he's already out there with Matt Ryan catching balls. That's all I've got to say. Is that he's out there with Matt Ryan and he's catching balls. So I'm very, very, very happy with that. Very happy with that. But again, like I said in this stream, we are handcuffed. Take your risks, put them together right now. I mean it. While you're listening to the stream, take your hands, put them together, put your wrists together. We are handcuffed until Matt Ryan's contract is negotiated, is done. We can't do anything. We have $4 million left if this is a $4 million contract for the first year under Fusco's contract, his new contract, $12.75 million. So just remember. Jarvis Williams with a $2 donation. Thank you so much with the Julio dab. Boom, bam, pow. Mike Glennon had been released $16 million for 4 games. Jarvis, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Dab on him. It's a good gif. It's solid. 1.5 for the first year. Send me the link. I want to know what the actual contract details of this contract are. If it's only 1.5 million, praise Thomas Dimitrov. Praise Thomas Dimitrov. Praise him. Terrell Powell with the donation, with a $2 donation in the chat. Thanks, my dude. Goodness grief. Why isn't that loaded yet? I want to make sure that goes through. Very strange. I have some friends that are coming down to Orlando, and we're thinking about doing some stuff here or there. And I just had all the free agency stuff going. There it is. Terrell Powell donated $2 through the super chat. Thank you so much, Terrell. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. I should just have instead of the Julio dab, I should have what's his name? DJ Khaled just going, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Devontae Hughes just did a mock draft for the Falcons. And he said, no order, but I'd love for some of those guys to be Falcons. And he has Tevin Bryan, Mike Gesicki, B.J. Hill, Justin Jones, DJ Reed, and Dimitri Flowers. I like it. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, if I do say so myself. Very good. Very good stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Because it gives us a guy that can play defensive end and defensive tackle in Tevin Bryan, which I don't particularly like too much as a defensive end, but it does give us that option. And the Gesicki would be an interesting tight end to put in with Hooper. We haven't really talked to him, so I don't know how you get that translation. But then B.J. Hill, Justin Jones as 2 more defensive tackle options to put next to Grady Jarrett and guys that I think that could become like Grady Jarrett. And then we got DJ Reed. I haven't really looked at him too much. And Dimitri Flowers, a fullback. I don't know. I don't know how to talk about him, to be honest with you. What do you think of Rasheem Green? The USC defensive tackle, defensive end? I don't have any problem with him. I think that he would be an interesting addition to the Atlanta Falcons. Very interesting addition. And with Claiborne and Poe most likely gone, it means that we will be heavily drafting defensive linemen unless we make another free agent signing. And I don't expect that to be today. But if we do make that signing, it will be because we have changed the Matt Ryan contract. So with this signing, Isaiah Wynn is out of the equation. Most likely, yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't go after any offensive linemen unless they were late round. So unless James Daniels is one of the guys that we are just sold on in round 2. If we're sold on James Daniels, I would not be surprised. PSN, stay in here, man. I need your support, bro. Somebody mentions Isaiah Wynn. I'm out. I'm peace. Bye. Bye. Peace. The Bears officially released the ghosts of last year's free agency. Mike Glennon, Marcus Wheaton, and cornerback Marcus Cooper are all gone. They've all been released. Bye. Peace. Sayonara. The Eagles are re-signing Nigel Bradham. How do the Eagles have any money? How do any of these teams have any money? Carlos Hyde has, is at least expected to sign with the Browns, and I feel like he has already signed with the Browns. So that's a good signing. That's a good signing. Positive signing for Cleveland if you're Cleveland fans. Former Seahawks corner Deshaun Sneed just signed with the Detroit Lions on a 1-year deal worth $3.5 million that could go to $6.5 million with playtime incentives. So, Lions defense getting better. Not the worst thing in the world. Still waiting for... And John Williams, good to see you, man. Johnny, good to see you in here as well. Still waiting to see if Buffalo decides that they want to get rid of Patrick DeMarco. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to see what they want to do. Because he only played 25% of snaps. So I'm just going to wait on it. I'm going to see what they want. What they want to do there. Thought they were $10 million over the cap. Rams going all in. Arizona Cardinals now have QB Sam Bradford, starter, and just signed Mike Glennon, backup. Good luck with that, Arizona. Taven Bryan and BJ Hill in the first 2 rounds. Gives base in who will kick inside on pass downs and still a good defensive tackle. I like it. I like it. It's all good. John Williams, where you been at, man? Where you been at? I need those high fives, bro. Where you been? River Valley University. Good to see you. Although we have Allen Robinson and Trey Burke. Trubisky is still trash. Oof. Ow. Oof. Don't be mad at Trubisky. He ain't that bad. Sam Bradford has made a fortune holding clipboards for 8 years. It's true. AKA Matt Schaub. Hashtag Matt Schaubism. Hashtag Matt Schaubism. Go in there and be a starter somewhere and then find out that you're not really a starter and go back to holding clipboards and making a lot of money. Being a backup. Bartavius Mingo, $6.8 million deal with the Seahawks. What? Okay. I guess that's the thing. Oh, yeah, we can't forget about Bradford. Oh, yo, chill. Y'all saw that we went over 1,900 subs. 1,900 subs as of yesterday. So we are at 1901, I believe, is our sub count right now. So 99 more subs to go. Or, well, 100 more subs if it's not counting one of them. But as of today, we were at 1901. But it looks like we're back at 1900 again. Yeah, we're at 1900. Somebody must have unsubbed. Damn it. So please do continue to spread the word of the channel. We're just in here to have fun, man. And bring up these conversations and continue to talk to the Falcons fans and make sure that we all come together and are just a little more educated, you know? That we're a little more together. We're all part of the brotherhood, right? So that we can tell some of these loco fans, the ones that are living in loco universe, living in the realm of infinite money and Madden rosters, that's not how the thing works. That's not how this all works. While I listen to Logic in my headphones, because his newest album is really good, but his what is it? The Tarantino album is so lit. Oh my God, it's so lit. I don't care about the political beliefs of every single person. You can believe whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can feel superior than everybody else. This is a quote from him. And then a little bit of me on top of that. You can believe whatever you want. But his most lit line in one of his songs is, I'll step up into the blue face and tell them that blue lives ain't a race. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Somebody please come out and say it. Do you think trading Desmond Trufant is realistic? No, because he started to get better as the year progressed, and it was just getting over that injury and getting back in. I still think that he's I want to say top 15 to be safe, top 15 corner. That's probably like selling him really short, but probably top 10 for most people. Why did Tampa give Brait all that money when they drafted O.J. Howard? Because they're Tampa? Or maybe because of insurance reasons, just because O.J. Howard had a solid season, but it wasn't anything to take over the job full time. You know what I mean? It was solid, but it wasn't enough. Matt is not playing $180 million football. Maybe $140 million probably. Look, man, I'm just going to go out here and say it. Go get yours, okay? I don't care about how much money you want to go get. All right? You're playing this dangerous sport. You're putting your body on the line. Go get you. I'm not whining over people making money. I will say that there are people that don't live up to their contracts, but I'm not going to whine about people not getting their money or getting their money. I'm going to be like, you got yours. Like, hell, I want to get mine. And thanks to the support of everybody in here and people around, you guys are able to help me pay my bills and be able to come up with more videos and be able to do more live shows and be able to do all these cool things and go to all these cool places because of you guys. So, like, that's me getting mine, coming out and just being real, you know, paying for the equipment, you know, even though I don't have a lot of money. And trying to give you all the information, do these shows, because that's what I want my job to be, is be, you know, somewhere to hang out for you guys and have a really fun time talking Falcons football. But when a guy like Matt Ryan goes out and he's 33 this year, and we have quarterbacks playing close to their 40s or into their 40s, none of us should have any problem with a quarterback like Matt Ryan, who is of a small group of quarterbacks that are making it to that age group and still getting paid. We should be thankful that that particular quarterback is still around on our team, in our division, at least on our team, and leading this group somewhere. I mean, come on. Matt has gone to multiple playoff events because of how this team has performed with him under center. And it's taken us to a Super Bowl even though we didn't win it. And this last year has taken us to the second round of the playoffs again. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I said it in a tweet. If you guys follow me, UNGR_show on Twitter. I said it in a tweet. I said if the Falcons pick up a quarterback in the draft, the entire fan base will be in a divide. A new quarterback in any of the top 4 rounds, the fan base will be in a divide. You know why? Because the fan base will want the new guard to come in because they're tired of Matt Ryan, and the other side of the fan base will want Matt Ryan to continue to succeed because they like what Matt Ryan brings to this group. Jarvis Williams, correct. Free agency isn't the Falcons' thing. That's just filling the gaps. It's called going out there into draft land, into the draft, and grabbing guys to grow and mature. And as the cap continues to rise, we continue to pay the guys that matter to us. The Debos, the Campbells, the Grady Jarretts, the Neals, the Vic Beasleys, the Tack McKinleys. Those guys will get paid mega money because the cap will allow us to be able to do that kind of thing. Smart cap structure. And it's always worked for us with Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff under the helm. We've been able to do it. Now we are going to pay Grady Jarrett. It's got to be this year. We can't let him go. But for everyone in here, we all have to remember that while this is all going on, you have to keep grooming everybody behind them. behind the guys that we already brought in for the past couple of years. We need to groom more guys. And don't fall into the trap of this is the year and throw everything into one basket. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. We went to a Super Bowl in 2016. And we were still a young team and still growing. We weren't the team that everybody was advertising us as. The world beaters. We were a lucky team to get there with a young group. And now that they've tasted defeat at the highest level, and now that they've gone through a whole season kind of getting over those things, their ideals, their responsibilities, and what they think of themselves as players under this regime, under Dan Quinn, under Thomas Dimitroff, under this coaching staff has changed, and they're better for it. We saw a lot of development in 2017. Prepare yourselves for 2018 and probably a great draft. A great draft. Even if it's one player or if it's 20 players, we will have a very good draft. Keep your expectations low. Keep supporting the Atlanta Falcons under Dan Quinn's tutelage because it's going places. This ain't like the Mike Smith era, man. I cannot stress that enough. This is not like Mike Smith, where we talk about Mike Smith and his development and growth of players, and none of those players are still with the Falcons, except for what? Matt Ryan, franchise quarterback, was the smartest move that Mike Smith ever made. Jake Matthews, probably above average left tackle, and you can't find a lot of those. Trufant and Alfred under Mike Smith, two decent corners, very good corners, guys that work their tail off, especially Alfred, who has gone out there and really proven that he can evolve in his game. Think of that as four guys that have stuck with this organization and really been the pillars of what we've been trying to really build on top of. And yes, Devontae Freeman, of course, we can talk about that. I'm not trying to disregard Devontae Freeman and what he's done for this organization. Of course, Devontae Freeman, my bad. Of course. But those pillars, like what did Mike Smith and that coaching staff do for this team? Unless you were a certified baller coming out of the draft or a guy that could develop higher than that. I mean, yes, the Julio Jones, the Devontae Freemans, the Matt Ryans, we got maybe 5-6 players total, and a team has 53 guys. Look what Dan Quinn's done. Hilton Sharp, what's going on? Look what Dan Quinn has done. This is huge. Can't stress that enough. I love it. I love when people come up to me and they want to fire Dan Quinn. Get rid of Thomas Dimitroff. Look at the marriage between this GM and this head coach and what they've been able to do. And this coaching staff, don't sell them short. The rest of the coaching staff has been able to develop these guys. This is crazy. This is about team, not individuals. I said that on Twitter as well. UNGR_show on the screen. Go follow me on Twitter. Have some spicy takes. We want our offense to be young and same as our defense. True. Very true. Got two more. Apparently, I got two more tweets just hit me. This would make me content with everything that's going on. Miami Dolphins have every intention of signing Josh Sitton. He is the guy. Miami going to pay money to grab themselves a left or right guard in free agency. Seahawks are signing former Colts pass rusher Bartavius Mingo to a 2-year deal worth $10.1 million. Very interesting. Very interesting. Decent. The Bears are expected to sign Taylor Gabriel to a 4-year deal worth $26 million, and he gets $14 million guaranteed. The max is 28 with incentives. Nice deal for the former undrafted speedster who finally cashes in. Very good stuff. Decent stuff. Kevin Knight says, and I've become a little bit of a friend with Kevin Knight. We're probably not friends. We're just acquaintances, really, to be honest. I take PFF grades with a grain of salt, but that's a solid mark for Fusco, who's been an upgrade at right guard for the Atlanta Falcons as of today. We signed right guard Brandon Fusco from San Francisco. 3 years, $12.75 million. And somebody said that in his first year, he's making $1.5 million. Which I would be surprised if that is the case. Very surprised. But let's see. Let's see what we can keep doing with this money. Somebody just replied to me and said, talking about Vita Vea. Somebody just replied to me from Tar Heels 2017 champ. He also fits perfectly. We need a big, strong run stuffer and space eater besides our quick penetrating defensive tackle and in front of our undersized middle linebacker. True. Vita Vea would be the ultimate addition. The ultimate addition to the Atlanta Falcons. I think that would be great. I think that would be very positive. Contract details for Case Keenum, 2 years. Can you... Okay. All of y'all listen to this. I know 35 people are watching right now, but you listen to this. Case Keenum's deal. Listen to Case Keenum's deal and vomit in the chat if you think this is disgusting. Broncos, Case Keenum, 2 years, $36 million. Full $36 million guaranteed for injury. $25 guaranteed for skill and cap. What? What in the world is going on in Denver? Keyshawn Daniel. Don't know if you've subbed to the channel already. Maybe I missed you in some of the chats. But Keyshawn wants to know what my view on the OC, or you're talking about the offensive coordinator, you're talking about the center. But I'm guessing you're talking about Sarkisian. And you want my view on the OC. I will do a very quick session on that then. Very quick. And anybody that has not listened to this, please, by all means, we're going to go through this one more time. Those who do know what I'm talking about, please stick around for just a second. I'll get back to questions. I'll get back to talk about tweets that are coming in about free agency and answering all your stuff that you guys are doing right now and saying hi to people and whatnot. But my thoughts on Sarkisian. Sarkisian to me is given the benefit of the doubt. You actually said my name right, thanks. I know, I say everyone else's name wrong. I know I get so much flack for that. I am so sorry to everyone whose name is super hard to pronounce. But what does Sarkisian bring to this offense that we had or didn't have with Shanahan? I give him the benefit of the doubt for not only everyone will hate me for this, but I give him the benefit of the doubt for being a first-time NFL offensive coordinator. And number 2, I will give him the benefit of the doubt for being someone that is, how do you put it? Put in a situation where his players just couldn't catch the damn ball. There were good plays brought in by Sarkisian. Chris, what's going on? Good to see you. Long time no see. Or maybe I saw you in a chat a little while ago, but I have totally forgotten. My bad. If I have. But I think Jarvis actually kind of just puts it up in just one sentence. Steve Sarkisian, without going into a long-winded rant, is an average or above average play caller, and we really just haven't seen a lot. This was the same discussion I think I had with most Falcons fans when Shanahan came in. More established, obviously, had a particular set and skill that he wanted to do, had particular players that he wanted to bring in to make the system work, and that's with every offensive coordinator, by the way. Like I said, no two wide receivers are the same when you put them on different teams. An X wide receiver on one team is a Z wide receiver on another. One wide receiver working for one team is not the same type of wide receiver that they want working on another team because of how they do their system and scheme. So when you look at what Sark did during the season and some of the things that he implemented and he wanted to get familiar and comfortable with his players that he was working with. What worked well for him? What did not work well for him? You saw Gabriel fall off the face of the earth because that just wasn't what he wanted to do. And you saw that some of the inconsistencies of Matt Ryan hitting his players and the players catching the ball at all, you could see that hurt Sarkisian. Sarkisian didn't have all the players that he needed to truly put this offense where it needed to be. Although there were some good plays throughout the season, you cannot deny that. But again, let's not get into a bigger rant than it needs to be. Sarkisian, I think, has been good. And Jarvis is very correct. It's not all Sarkisian's offense, by the way, which runs a lot of 21 personnel. Sarkisian's offense is running 21 personnel and running inside-outside zone blocking schemes. That is what he did. That's what he did at USC. That's what he did at Washington. They were successful at that. But he took a lot of the plays that Shanahan had left with them, that worked with the players that he already had, and implemented them in, and you saw that they worked, but you obviously saw that he was very uncomfortable with some of the stuff that he was calling for particular players. And if you go back to watch my quarter of the season review from last season, go watch that video. I thought I did an okay job with that video. I went on a little thing going, hey, look, he's just not using his players right, which was true. Wasn't using his players right. But you could see he was very uncomfortable using a lot of collegiate style plays early on. And then halfway, 3/4, and full season until they got into the playoffs, which you wouldn't have thought that an offensive coordinator who had never done any offensive coordinator work in the NFL, but only collegiate style stuff, would be able to help his team get to the playoffs. But they did. Kicking and screaming. But kicking and screaming, they went straight into the playoffs. And they almost beat the Eagles. They beat the Rams. And you can see the blueprint working for them, not only offensively, but on the defensive side of the ball as well. So Sarkisian is an above average to average offensive coordinator with only 1 year of experience. And that's why I give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's the same conversation I had with the Shanahan conversation of 2015, 2016. When 2015, 8-8, we struggled. Offense looked bad. Matt looked bad. Remember that? Guys couldn't catch the ball. And then 2016, boom, explosions straight into the playoffs, burning down every town that we went to, straight into the Super Bowl. And then we got beat by a team that had more depth. That is the same story that I see in Sarkisian in this team in 2017. Inconsistencies. Matt doesn't look so great. Oh my goodness. Guys are dropping the ball. Oh man, the play calling's just not clicking. Chain moves aren't working. Combo breakers aren't happening. And then, boom. Here we go, 2018. Everybody's buying into what we're doing. We haven't lost really anything. Offense is pretty much set. We grab a new right guard, which is everybody was screaming about. So all of y'all better be happy about that. Give me happy-go-lucky somethings in the chat. But you got your right guard. I take, obviously, with a pinch of salt, the PFF grades. But the 21st The 21st ranked PFF guard in the entire NFL, all 32 teams out of left and right guards. Bada bing, bada boom, we got ourselves a right guard. And now on the left guard, we have the 17th ranked PFF guard out of Andy Levitri, who was, for the most part, serviceable, average, just about average, above average. And we had a running game last year. We had a running game, and we had pass protection. Matt was barely touched in that Rams game. A little bit of pressure here, a little bit of pressure there. So, there's my, I said I wasn't going to do a long-winded rant, but I did it anyway. Because I just like talking about that kind of stuff. It's fun. No, we got beat because we didn't run the ball within 4 minutes. Julio Jones, great catch. Again, debatable. They had more depth than we did. You saw our defense get tired. Don't blame single identities. Blame the entire team for all of their miscues. Look at the defense and see how tired it was. We didn't have the talent to back it up. And on the offensive side of the ball, we weren't capable of calling the easy things because we were caught up in the moment. Boom, bam, I laid it out. That was the Falcons Super Bowl, and we're not living in the past, so it's 2018. I don't know who the 2018 Super Bowl champion is, but it ain't the Pats, and it ain't Philly. So let's get on with it. If available, would you take Kirk at 26 to replace Gabriel? Like I said earlier, I would rather not. Because I would rather put a running mate next to Grady Jarrett, who is capable of being here for 15 years or 10 to 15 years. I mean, in the Rams game, it was Aaron Donald. It was only a matter of time. It's true. But we were able to get some things done. Not need to be yelling. Yeah, true. And there you go. Jarvis Williams with another little tidbit there. We don't need Matt Ryan to be saying, hey, get on the line. Bleep, get on the line. So things will be better. People will be more in tune with what we're doing in 2018. I definitely have more belief in that. Is it possible the Falcons go CB in round 1 if Vea, Payne, Bryan are gone? That's a really good observation and a good question. There is definitely the corner class to be able to do this in the first 3 rounds. We could get any corner from there. I definitely agree that it is a need at nickel. Not at a starting position, so I don't know why we would go first round to get a nickel corner. So maybe that's the only reason why we wouldn't do that. But I digress. If the position's just not there and we can't find somebody to trade down, then there's a couple of positions that we could still grab in the first round that makes sense. Obviously, corner at nickel, it would be a little too much. But again, you could still grab that. And then linebacker, grabbing another linebacker in the first round, definitely worth it. Vander Esch from, just lost it. It's gone. Boise State. Vander Esch from Boise State would be an interesting setup. And remember, you can always go in the first round, use SARF, and grab, system adjusted round fit, and go grab somebody that's supposed to be in the second or third round and pull them up to the first round and say, this guy's important to me. Not important to you guys, because y'all think that he belongs in some certain round, which is BS. But he's going to be something special for us. Just like we did with Neal and Debo. We grabbed those guys a little bit early, and they become instant starters on our defense and just really do well. Jarvis gets my sub for that. Boo. Unless Keyshawn has already subbed to my channel, which then, yay! Harrison Phillips, though. No, not Harrison Phillips, please. If Harrison Phillips joins the Falcons, then I mean, okay. I won't have any problem with that. In short space, he's athletic. That's just it. Camardi from Giants. Falcons fan 408. Harold out of Boston College. It's interesting because I see Harold could go to Dallas and Harold could go to Detroit. Those are two teams that want that type of edge setter, especially with Randy Gregory in Dallas just not turning out to be a valuable member of that team yet. So they could go ahead and grab somebody youth-wise and then walk away from one of these big contract guys that's already at the defensive end position. So there's that. Why? Because he's a big, strong DT. He's big, strong. He's not super athletic. He's kind of quick in short space. Nickel corners, round 3, 3rd round, 4th round. Cameron Kelly, San Diego State. Hilton Hill, Texas. Both perfect fits for our squad. They would be fun. Kelly out of San Diego State is a great option. And former teammate of your boy, DeMonte KZ. So that could be a really interesting little setup. Remember, Falcons always go in twos. 2 LSU guys, 2 Clemson guys up to this point, 2 Florida guys. We've got, it's funny, but we've got 1 Washington guy at corner. Maybe we go get another Washington guy in Vita Vea. Woo! Please do it. I would be fine with it. I would be fine. You guys know I'd be more than fine with it. I would be just like, I'd be tickled. I'd be tickled to go into it. That would be so great. That would be awesome. I would cry. Crying tears. Oh, we did it, boys. But if you liked everything that we discussed today, please do hit the like button. Go check me out at Goaty Ramsam on Mixer. Go check me out on Goaty Ramsam on Mixer. I'm actually going from here to Mixer to go play some games, and I'll answer more of your questions there. Just so that I can sit down in my chair and kind of relax for a little bit, kind of rest a little bit, because I'm going to be doing a lot over these next couple of days, film breakdowns and whatnot. So you can find me, Goaty Ramsam. I think I have it already. No, it's there. Yeah. Well, you know what? Goaty Ramsam Mixer. Let me copy this. Let me copy this real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Just put it in the chat. It's also in the description of this video that you can go check out my Goaty Ramsam Mixer. Lieutenant Dan, that's where I go play. I'm going to go from here and go and play some video games and answer more of your Falcons stuff and continue to watch free agency and what's going on. Remember, if you like the video content, if you like what we talked about today, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Join the Grounders. We're coming out with some t-shirts soon, which is going to be really awesome. Going to be lit. It's going to say unintentional grounding on the front. And then on the back, it's probably going to say #facts, #truth. Please do go hit me up on UNGR_show on Instagram and on Twitter, where I talk about life stuff and I do some hot takes on Twitter and talk with Falcoholic guys, which is a lot of fun. And hey, if you want to leave a comment in the comment section in this video on some of the stuff that we talked about today, please do go into the comment section. Next video breakdown is going to be on Brandon Fusco. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do like a 5-10 minute video on him. Check that out in the next day or two. We'll be breaking down what he did in San Francisco last year and some of the games. I'll probably break down more of the Arizona game than I will in any other game out there. So I'll break down some of those plays and look at them and do stuff. So I will see you guys a little bit later. And as I say on every one of my shows, every one of my live streams that I do, you are listening to nothing but the facts and nothing but the truth. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and helping us get to 1,900 subs. Spread the word and share this channel with all your Falcons friends and fam and co-workers, and help this channel grow up to 2K. By the draft, I want to try to have this channel at 2K, so I'm going to be really hitting this channel hard with a lot of videos, gaming content, and Falcon stuff. So I will see you guys on Goaty Ramsam on Mixer. That is a service for streaming video games. I'm going to go over there right now and go and play some video games. Go follow me over there. And I will put down that Brandon Fusco video in the next couple of days, kind of get us set. Maybe we'll have another free agent signing, and maybe I'll have another video to do. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace, hair grease, rise up, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I have enjoyed spending my time with you guys, and I hope you have enjoyed spending your time with me. Peace, hair grease, rise up. Bye now.